Hey ladies, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a card I want to show you today. We have a challenge in our demo group, Color Challenge, and I often share them with you guys. I think I'm going to post this for you all to play with as well. The challenge this week was Basic Black, Berry Burst, and Bermuda Bay. Catch all the bees? So this is the card I came up for that challenge, and I've also decided to go ahead and use it for our Stamp Together in July. So I've used Bermuda Bay, Berry Burst, and Basic Black as my three colors, and I've mounted it all up on 100-pound Whisper White. And doesn't that look crisp? We're using Crafting Forever, which is a new set in the catalog, which is just really cool craft images. And then I'm also tying it in with Playful Backgrounds and using that to add some accent to the card. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you how I put it together. It's really pretty simple. Some fun with markers. So we'll just put that there. So our kit has a lot of pieces, but they go together pretty easy. Set some of these aside for a minute. So our Whisper White base, just going to fold that in half and give it a good crease with our bone folder. Make sure our edges are lined up. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my Bermuda Bay and my Berry Burst. I'm stamping with Versamark, and I'm using this bubbly image on the Berry Burst, so I really only have to stamp like part of the edge because it's such a narrow piece. And I'm just repeating that pattern of bubbles. Okay, and then I'm taking the same Versamark and I'm using this swoosh pattern from the set. Ink that up, and I'm just stamping that on my Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to kind of rotate my stock as I go around so that we kind of get a variegated stamp. Okay, so there's that. There's my Versamark. So that just gives us a nice watermark of color on the card. And I didn't do anything with the Basic Black, but you could stamp with the Versamark on black. I just really didn't think it would show very well. Then, as you can see, I'm going to attach those three down to make my background. I'm just going to add some snail. And I'm looking for about an 1/8 inch frame of white around all my colors. And remember, all my sizes are on my blog at Pumpkin Hill Stampers, and there should be a link with this video to get you there, so that should be easy. Or you can find it on Pinterest. These are in my 2017 cards, so that's where it'll be. Alright, so there's my background. Okay, my black background. Then I'm taking Memento, or you could take any black ink, but I'm going to ink up this set, and I'm going to stamp that on my Whisper White. Okay, and then while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my words. So I'm using Bermuda Bay ink on Whisper White, and then I'm going to mount it on Berry Burst. So there's my expression. And I'm punching that out with 1 3/4, and then I'm mounting it on a 2-inch circle. You could actually go tighter, but I kind of wanted that white space in the card. That piece is ready. So now we're just going to go ahead and use our markers to color in our image here. And I stuck with these same colors, but I also added in Crumb Cake and Smoky Slate, because, you know, sometimes these tools have different materials, wood or metal, and so I added a few extra colors in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some color with my markers. which I really like using markers. It's calming for me. And I like how you can do your cards differently, but they do take a tad bit of time to do it and do it well. So I'm just kind of moving across my image and adding spots of the color. Trying not to put too much of the same color next to each other. And then I'm going to move on. So I'm going to do the Bermuda Bay next. I think I'll make this big one Bermuda Bay this time. And as you can see from my first one there on the left, I'm not necessarily following the same color pattern. So that's kind of the neat thing about using an outline image and coloring it with your markers, is you really can create different cards. Go ahead and add some stripes to this one. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do some crumb cake. Give a couple of these a wood feel. Paintbrushes and such often have wood sticks on them, right? And if you wanted to, I haven't done it on either of these, but you could always add color to the brushes on the end as well. So there's no rhyme or reason, there's no right or wrong. It's really what you feel like doing with your image. You know, and sometimes it's even fun just to leave a black and white image and let the recipient, you know, imagine the colors where they would like them or how they imagine it. And it's okay to leave some white in there too. I'm using my black to kind of clean up my brush strokes where I didn't stay inside the lines, but that's okay. One thing I did do here, and I'm going to show you, is I used the Images shadow lines that were already stamped, and I just kind of went over them. This time I used the smoky slate. So I'm just kind of adding some additional shadowing to the stamp. Sometimes our stamps have these shadow lines drawn in, and that kind of helps us guide what we want to do with it. Or you could, you know, color the whole thing in if you want to. Remember, it's your card, you can do what you want with it. So now I'm going to tack that down with my snail onto my basic black mount. Okay, and I'm snailing that down to the card as well. Of course, I'm going to run out of snail. Hold on, I have more. Switch over to my fast fuse because that's what was on the table. Okay, so I'm putting this down flat on the card because I'm going to pop the words up on dimensionals. So I'm kind of covering all three of my base colors just a little bit, but not so much that I'm hiding all that stamp work we did. And then I'll just pop up my expressions to dimensionals. I'm offsetting that over here. And one of the reasons I decided to mount it on Berry Burst was that the Berry Burst is way over here, and when I put it on black or Bermuda Bay, it just kind of melded into this side of the card, so I really wanted it to pop up on that side. And then of course, at the moment I have a naked envelope, but what I'm thinking is from this stamp set, I think I'm going to take this other dot stamp and borrow a block because they're all in use at the moment. And then you could either stamp it with one color. I think I'll go ahead and do that. I'll just do Bermuda Bay because it's out. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp across the back flap of this card some of these dots, just to add the little bit of texture to the stamped card as well. So there we have it. There's our card that met my color challenge, and we'll be doing it in July. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the colors, and for those of you I'm seeing soon, I'll see you soon. And those of you that I'm not seeing soon, invite me over. I'd love to come stamp with you. So until next time, happy stamping!